One thing I want to talk about is something that's been on my mind recently, which is what I like to call the freedom sacrifice. Excuse me for closing my eyes as well. The sun is pointing directly at me. The freedom sacrifice is something that I have experienced over the past 6 months. And it's for this reason why my YouTube videos came to a stop, because ultimately I was sacrificing what I wanted my freedom to look like, thinking of the greater good. And it's because of that sacrifice I'm able to be here in Switzerland for a 1 month total. I've been here a week already, and without that sacrifice I wouldn't have been able to do this trip and a few other trips that I have also been on. So I do want to delve in a bit more into actually what I'm talking about and what I mean, probably from a more or less distracting setting, should I say. But just know that wherever you are, whatever you're doing right now, as long as you're not living your life unintentionally, everything will work out. As long as the season you're in has a purpose and you know exactly why you are facing the challenges that you are facing, because they are building or helping you get somewhere greater, great. To those that are watching this and are thinking, oh my gosh, what's this guy going on about? This is intense. I get it. I've been there. I've worked several corporate jobs that I hated. Some people can do that, and I would say it is for them, and they can experience freedom doing that. I've got friends that is how they live their life, and that's how they are fulfilled. But I also know you will probably recommend this video because that isn't something that fulfills you. You're wanting more from your life. Potentially you already have a few things going. This time last year, I probably had 10 things going at once. And I must say, speaking back to my older self, I wish I just focused on 1 or 2 things, because that is where the money is going to come to. And again, you're probably watching this video because you're wanting to have financial freedom. But I also want to define freedom as, it's not just financial freedom, it's spiritual freedom, emotional freedom, physical freedom, to actually have a body that's not going to break if you get yourself on one of these slopes and nearly die. Like, I've fallen over 3-4 times. I know some people that could have fallen over and they'll be seriously hurt. I didn't fall bad, but physical freedom's no joke. So I'm saying all of this to say that, don't get me wrong, part of the freedom sacrifice can be for financial freedom, but I don't want you to take that as the takeaway from this video. I want you to think about what version of freedom you are prioritizing in this season, because ultimately, no matter what point of life you're in, there is a sacrifice. If you're wanting financial freedom, then you might have to sacrifice other forms of freedom whilst you're grinding your business, your side hustle, even your job, right? Some jobs can give people a form of financial freedom to go away. But yeah, I just wanted to hop back on, say we are back. I am more free than ever, and I'm more excited than ever to document my journey. I want to use the words I'm sorry for not uploading, but ultimately I'm not sorry for sacrificing one form of freedom to elevate other forms of freedom in my life. And you shouldn't be sorry for doing that too. My arm's getting tired now, so I'm going to check out, and you'll probably see me next from some type of office or building where I talk a little bit more about where I've been. If you're bothered about that, I'd love for you to stick around, and please drop me a follow on Instagram, because that is where I want to be uploading more real-time content, and that's where I'm available in the DMs if you want to drop me a message. Again, thank you for tuning in, and I'm excited to pursue my freedom and document it, and hear you guys pursue your freedom too. Just getting to the station now, so I need to get my gloves on and sign off, but yeah, see you soon. We are back, and as tradition goes, lights, camera, action. Right, let's sit down. So, this is the third time I'm recording this video segment. The eagle-eyed viewers on this channel will have seen the exact same first half of the video beforehand, and came with a second half, a different second half, because I scrapped that. I'm recording again because I didn't like how I spoke about where I had been and the reasons for that, and I don't think it came across on camera in the way I intended. So, where I have been. Whew, getting out of breath, this high energy speaking, get me out of breath. So, about 6, 7, maybe 8 months ago, okay, I started working as a recruiter, a HR, head of talent type role. In those YouTube videos around that time, I alluded to, I've just received an opportunity, it's really good, let's see how it goes, etc. And it's because of that role, as I mentioned earlier on whilst I was on the chairlift, it's because of that role I stopped uploading YouTube. There was no capacity for that. YouTube had to become a sacrifice. I Am Free had to become a sacrifice. It was a sacrifice I was willing to take. The opportunity within that role is why I was happy to take those sacrifices as well as some more. So let me talk to you specifically about freedom sacrifice in the context of where I've been. So, the role I was in was fully online. There was no set days off. There was no specific times of working. It was more like American time zone because I was working for an American business. So it's kind of obvious from my accent, I'm not from America. I live in the UK. So my working hours were probably midday in the UK onwards into the night until whenever bedtime was. I was always online. I was working on Christmas Day, on my birthday. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't working 70-hour weeks. I wasn't going crazy, but the sacrifice for me was being always on. It was very hard to be present with friends and family. It was amazing when I got to go play football or I went for a swim, because I knew that I wouldn't be disturbed. I wouldn't receive messages or be asked to hop on a call just like that. And the closest ones to me in Nottingham where I live can testify for that. That they will have heard me talk about work and witnessed me popping out my phone or popping off to meetings, etc. But that was the freedom sacrifice. I was more than happy to do that. One, for the financial gain that I was to receive in that role and the promise of it becoming bigger, better, and growing as the company grows, as well as the opportunity to network. Several of you are probably watching this video because you got to know me. I probably interviewed you if you were a sales rep looking to land a role with myself at the time. So network was a big thing for me. I joined the business because I saw where the vision was and I thought long term this could really, really fit. However, having been there 6, 7, 8 months, I've realized that long term that fit isn't there as much as I thought it would be. So I stepped away. And essentially that's where I've been. I wanted to talk specifically about that and the sacrifices that I had taken, because with the title, it is a little bit clickbaity. I'll give you that, or give myself that. Either way, I will, what's the word? I'll admit that, of course. I did sacrifice my freedom for 6 months. It's not like I was going through the trenches. I completely understand the number, the amount of blessing I still had in that role. Because there was no working hours, there were times where if I'd needed to do something in the afternoon, I could do that. Or I could work from Spain and I don't know, in the mornings I could travel the island or be on the beach, and then in the afternoons, the evenings, the nights, I'd be grinding. But the sacrifice was that I was always online. So even when I was away, I'm still working. I was still hired to get specific results. So I want to be really careful when framing freedom sacrifice, because although the past 6, 7, 8 months have been really challenging, they've been tough. It's a tough that I chose, because I chose to not live life passively, to not just let every single day go and not investigate what an opportunity could have in store for me. So I decided to go for it. And now, as a result of that sacrifice, I now have a business with an amazing guy called Jackson. We help sales reps to land roles in the high ticket sales space. You'll see in my Instagram bio, high ticket sales placements, something like that. We've, it's fairly new, a couple months old, but successfully we are able to help hundreds of reps land sales roles in the space, and it's super fulfilling to do so. But without that initial sacrifice, wouldn't have come this. Now I have the freedom and the full control of my time, which was something I had to sacrifice. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, because initially I decided not to live passively. Like in the moment I was thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm always been online, this job is stressful. But what form of growth is not stressful? What form of growth requires you to be stagnant and passive and still? If you're doing that, other people are getting ahead of you. And when I say getting ahead of you, I'm not just framing that in a financial way. As I said on the chairlift, success isn't just financially. Finances bring about freedom to not be tied to just trading your time for money. They give you access to lots of opportunities and memories, and you can bless and it alleviates stress. I can say I'll be a heck of a lot more happy and fulfilled knowing that my bills and necessities and my food and water are taken care of than if I was poor and was really, really stressing and had nothing. That would be less stressful. So it's not a bad thing to pursue finances, but I just want to frame success as like in a more holistic way, freedom in a more holistic way. That's all what I Am Free is about. And finally in this season, I feel like I'm able to go back onto frequently uploading on YouTube. That I'm gonna be grinding out the reels with my personal brand and I Am Free. I'm building a community of you've heard it here first, guys. This is literally like me announcing and speaking into what's gonna happen. Building a community of like-minded individuals who are seeking freedom day in, day out, not living passively. But if you are living passively, that's okay. The first step to change is that self-awareness. So the fact that you're thinking, things are maybe a bit more passive than I like right now. Well, cool, that's okay. Take one step today and then you will no longer be passive. You'll probably, just taking one step will probably separate you from 50% of people in this world that are just in the rat race. More like probably 80% of people. They're just running day to day, looking forward to the weekends, looking forward to the holidays. Again, I said on the chairlift, there's not an issue with that, but that's not for everyone. And you're more likely than not watching this video. You're more likely than not watching this video because you're also not that way aligned. You're not finding fulfillment in the current 9 to 5, or I don't know what shift pattern you do. You're not finding fulfillment in that way of living. So I really have a passion and a desire to explore freedom. Not to shout at you and tell you you need to be doing this, because that means that no one will ever do anything that I say. But to bring about awareness that there's a different way to live and that it is achievable. And to show you guys potentially how you could get there if you wanted to do so. Even if you just do one thing from this video that makes you a bit happier. For me, like, you are finding freedom by being more joyful. You're finding more emotional freedom by doing something that makes you like more fulfilled and joyful and happier, when otherwise you would have just scrolled to the next video and wasted more time. I'm speaking to myself when I say this too. So yeah, this is what is next, ladies and gentlemen. be sure to connect with me on Instagram. If you align with the message of freedom, be sure to follow I Am Free Collective. The I Am Free Collective, the collective is going to launch before you know it. With this is one example tee. Just a side note, like I Am Free for me, I found like the most amount of freedom in terms of my relationship with God. I identify as a Christian, so the I Am Free brand, the foundation is, it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. That's like the OG branding, so to say. However, I also understand, and I'm not trying to force the Bible down people's throats or whatever it may pause, whatever the wording might be. I know that lots of people align with that message of freedom that don't necessarily align with the Christian element, which is fine. So I also have the Seeking Freedom range of tees and hoodies. They're also out. So you'll see on the back here, oh, if you can see it, it says, the writing under I Am Free says, for those seeking freedom and those who have found it. So the reason why I'm saying that is to say that, the reason why I think it's important to talk about that is because I don't want you to have previously seen the brand and think, it's like, it's a Christian thing. Jordan's a Christian. Like, yes, it's Christian as the foundation. If you align with that message, great. Like, cool. But I'm free so much more than just the freedom found in Christ, which obviously is massive, but I don't want to say just to make it seem like a small thing. But I'm Free is collectively about that holistic freedom for those seeking freedom and those who have found it. So keep your eyes peeled for so much more to come with all things I'm Free. I'm going to be more active on socials, so ask any questions you want. I'm going to get off here now because I can keep talking for England, which is probably, you know what, like, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point I start doing live streams and stuff like that, because I just love talking and communicating and just being like down to earth where I'm at and going into the trenches and being able to engage with an audience. So it's a bit weird that I have no live comments right now. My background was on Twitch when I'm always talking to people, like feeding back, and at this point I'm just staring at my phone lens thinking, what an idiot. How silly is the whole concept of this? Anyway, take care, have a great day. Look forward to seeing you on Instagram. And you could say, I'm back. We're back. It's back. Let's go. Come on! I'm spitting. I just spat on my laptop. Let's go.